Sonny, Joey, 500. Got some goats in the field. Get ready for a shakedown. Prepare for a shakedown. We from Philly where they clap like huddles when they break down. Get ready for a shakedown. We underdogs, my guy. Kinda used to all the hate now. Prepare for it, man. Y'all get it. My QB got swag. My wideout is award winning. It's Fly Eagles Fly. Joey and 500. Like and subscribe. Yeah. Here's a quote you can sing back. Shake squad up and don't be a dingbat. It's a shakedown.
Don't you frown.
Shakedown.
Here comes Philly Shakedown.
Let's go.
What is going on, guys? Welcome to the Philly Shakedown podcast. My special guest,
Ding Batman, aka the Dark Guido. I'm here. Let's go. We got some crime to stop tomorrow. Jacksonville Jaguars coming to town. I don't think so.
Doug Pearson coming into town. A team that's not the same Jags team that we have faced in the past, but it's been a kind of cool to see how they have kind of they're kind of a slow start in the beginning, and then having a big 38-10 win against the Chargers last week. But there were some things in that game we kind of have to talk about too. But how do you feel about Doug coming back, and how do you feel about this Jaguars team coming in this week, Batman?
At least I'm not wearing hockey pants. That's how I feel. Remember that line in Dark Knight? I'm the Dark Guido. Hell yeah. Hold on. I got to get out of this. It's hot. I got to save it for tomorrow. All right, let's go. Yeah, what was the question again?
How do you feel about Doug coming in tomorrow and this Jags team in general? How you feeling about it?
I think it's going to be a tough game. I think it's going to be a scrappy game, a close game for a while. I think the weather's going to play a factor in it. But overall, I think the Eagles will win at the end.
Yeah, no, I think so too. And obviously, this is weather permitting for this game. It's supposed to be really bad. It's supposed to be like 14-mile-an-hour winds. So we know that the Jags defense is pretty good against the run. Really good against the run. I mean, they only average, I think, 3.1 per carry against rushers. Let's see here. Points allowed, 7th in yards, 1 in turnovers. The rushing defense, number 1 in attempts and yardage. Like I said, 4th in yards per carry. So very good defense, obviously, with Allen. And you have Walker on the edge, probably going to contain. Devin Lloyd's playing out of his mind right now. Mm-hmm. How do you feel with this weather permitting now? And do you think the Eagles are going to have to run the ball a little bit more tomorrow than they're going to pass?
Yeah, I think they're going to have to a little bit more, and I think they will. But I think it's also going to be I think you're going to see Jalen run a lot more, and I think it's going to drive that defense crazy. I will be wearing this in the stream for part of the stream and my cape, so we will be ready to go. The Dark Guido is upon us. Ding Batman, is here. But the Dark Guido, yeah, I like that. But yeah, so I think you're going to have to run more. I'll tell you what's an interesting stat, and it's the opposite side of the ball, but the Jags have only given up 2 sacks so far this year. That's pretty good. If the Eagles are not able to stop the run and get pressure, it's going to be a lot closer game than you think. But I do think the Eagles gotta run more. And I'm very excited to see Sermon, right? It's going to be nice to see maybe him on 3rd and 1 instead of Boston Scott,
Yeah, Sermon should be really interesting to kind of see what he's got. And obviously trying to get acclimated with the offense for the past couple weeks. Now, the news did come out today. So we heard the other day that Maddox is going to be out of this game, which was kind of a blow to the Eagles' defense. But the Eagles have a plan behind that. So if we want to talk about special teams, Britton Covey is coming back. So he is staying on the active roster. How do you feel about that going into this game?
Dang Batman will be holding his breath every time they punt to us. I legitimately get nervous when he's going to receive the punt, and it's not because I don't think he has upside or ability. It's just I just am worried that he's up too quick, But it makes me nervous. But the plan to go with Boston Scott can't be had because Boston Scott's not playing. So I will be nervous about that. I hope they don't use Devontae Smith But yeah, man, it makes me nervous, you know?
Yeah, no, I get it. Shout out to everybody in the chat, by the way. Join the Philly Shakedown podcast tonight. 191 in the chat. We got Derek Ray. We got Underdog Champs, Mr. Wing, John Dunham, Jerry Armitage. We got Jesse Davis. We got Casper, Marcus Folk. Appreciate everybody coming in the chat tonight, the day before we play the Jags tomorrow at 1 o'clock. I mean, hopefully this team becomes 4-0. This team has not been 4-0 since 2004. It's been
2004. Yeah, because the year we went to Super Bowl, we started 1-1. We lost week 2 with the Cardinals.
Right.
So yeah, I think I feel pretty good about this game. I do think it's going to be some tough sledding. I think Jacksonville's scrappy. You know, you have Doug Peterson. One thing we know, Doug, is those players always play hard for him, and they're going to come in and they're going to be ready to go. So I think it's going to be a little bit tougher. I think it's going to be close early on. I think the Eagles pull away, though, at the end of the day.
Yeah. I think since Maddox is out, so this is what they did so far. So now Andre Shashir, I'm never going to say his name right, but they bring him up from the practice squad to the active roster. No trust in Kevon Wallace, and obviously Breed Blankenship's too raw right now. So what do you think they're doing? You think
I think Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Go ahead. You're good. You're good.
No, I was going to say, I think they're going to put Chauncey Gardner-Johnson at nickel corner. I think he's going to play in Avante's spot, and I think that's what I would do. He's had plenty of experience doing it. He knows how to do it. I think you got to utilize him. Now, that means they got to bring up another player, right? So you're going to bring up a safety. The fact that they're bringing up a safety makes me think that's exactly what they're planning.
Yeah, and like I said, like they're – it's important. I mean, I'd rather have someone at that nickel spot because, Christian Kirk plays, I think it's like 77% in the slot. And after hearing the news that Avonte Max is out, there's no doubt in my mind they're going to be putting him in the slot a lot on Sunday and taking advantage of Avonte Maddox being out. So the good thing is we can move Chauncey Gardner-Johnson all over the place and putting him at that nickel spot. That was his prime position from the Saints. He was playing the nickel spot. He has more reps at the nickel spot in his career than he does at safety since the Eagles threw him in that position. But I think it's going to work out good. I think he'll complement very well and kind of see where Chauncey Gardner is in all this as well, too. So
we lost to the Chiefs. I don't know if I said the Cardinals by accident, but we lost to the Chiefs in 2017, week 2. Nelson Aguilar catches that meaningless touchdown, and then everybody's telling me, did Aguilar caught a touchdown? Like, it was meaningless. Stinks.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna lie, and this is way too early for this, but dude, that Cardinal game bothers me. It bothers me so much. Like I'm legitimately, I just think it's a tough spot for the Eagles. Like they got to be really careful and really ready to go. But they got to take care of Jacksonville first tomorrow. That's the main thing,
Yeah, true. No, I mean, I totally agree. Like that Cardinal. I mean, really, since even before we went over the schedule, like I had the Cardinals game being a loss, even with DeAndre Hopkins being out. Kyler Murray is going to kill you with how he's going to extend plays with his feet for 10 minutes. You know how long he can extend plays for? Because I'm afraid this defensive line by that week is going to be gassed out during that game by like the first quarter. That's how bad it could be with Kyler Murray running with the football in his hands.
It's hard to go 17-0. And if you look at the Eagles schedule, they could beat everybody on that schedule. There's nobody I think that they can't beat. It's just that it's hard to do it every week. And you look at being 4-0, you're going to hear great things another week about you. You're going out west. You're playing Zach Ertz's, and then you have the Cowboys game on the horizon. So it's like if they come ready to play against the Cardinals, they'll beat them. But that's where I'm worried about the letdown. It isn't tomorrow. It's that Cardinals game.
Yeah. So, I mean, with the weather going on for Sunday, okay, of course, James Robinson's been like their main running back. He had like 17 carries for 100 yards against the Chargers. The Chargers, it was weird. I kind of watched that game. Chargers defensive line, they had no pressure. I mean, there was none. I mean, I don't know how many times that Trevor Lawrence got out of the pocket, but it wasn't much. But during that game, you had Keenan Allen going out. You had Bosa out. I mean, Rashad Slater. There was a lot of players that were out in that game too, and the Jaguars took advantage of that and just killed them. And obviously, it really gave them a lot of attention because this is the Chargers are a Super Bowl contending team right now with a monster roster. So Kyle kind of was an eye opener. A lot of Jags fans are kind of pumping their chest right now, kind of excited to face the Eagles and to see what they're going to bring. But maybe they really have to worry about us at the end of the day. So.
I think so. I mean, I think it's a tougher spot for them. But look, they beat a Chargers team that's a good team. I don't know how healthy Herbert is right
True.
now. So I think that plays a part of it. But I think the Jags are going to come in. I think they're the toughest team we've played because I think Doug is going to have that team ready to go. I think they're scrappy, and I like Trevor Lawrence. So I think it's going to be a pretty close game. If the Eagles are up 24-0 at halftime, okay, versus Jacksonville, I'm gonna flip out, dude. This team is gonna be like I'm gonna be drinking all that Kool-Aid. You know what I mean? Because I expect this game to be close into the fourth quarter.
Yeah, we'll see. Here's another thing I kind of want to bring up too. Eagles Powerhouse, shout out to him. He sent me this like the other morning on Trevor Lawrence's completion chart. Okay, now this shows how many passes beside after the 20 yards, 30, 40, 50, whatever. So 68 of 77 passes traveled 19 yards or less. 6 of 77 passes traveled 20 to 29. 2 of 77, 30 to 39. 1 of 77, 40 to 49. So this guy hasn't really thrown over 20 yards. This gets the ball out of his hands very quick. If the Eagles can at least rattle him up a little bit, because like I said, he looked way too comfortable in that Chargers game. He was so it looked like it was effortless the way he was getting the ball out of his hands. So what do you think? Can the Eagles take advantage of that? He's not used to throwing deep balls or the past few weeks?
I mean, I think that's typical Doug Peterson. I think that's really what he liked to do, especially when he had Nick Foles in there. It was a lot of short passes, short passes, quick passes. Carson held the ball too long, wanted to play hero ball. I think that's where some of the friction came. So I think that's a product of Doug Peterson and what he does. And he's gonna go out there tomorrow and he's gonna throw a lot of those short passes, a lot of quick passes. Try to get you in third and short. That's what Doug wants to do. Beat you by 1,000 paper cuts. So I would like to see them man up, press those receivers, and then bring heat. And force them to have to hold the ball a second too long. Force them to feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, true. I mean, I think between Kirk and Christian Kirk has played pretty well.
I like Christian Kirk.
He's nice.
I like him. Yeah,
played really good. I mean, he started that wide receiver market. He was the first one the Eagles had interest, remember, and then Doug kind of took him away from us right in the beginning of free agency when we didn't know if if they were going to even have Jalen Hurts as the quarterback of the first 2 weeks of free agency. It was too quiet. We didn't know what was going on. But between Marvin Jones, Zay Jones, got a good wide receiver group. It's a really good group with good running backs, especially James Robinson is a natural catcher as well, so can go out for passes, and they have a nice screen game.
Kirk scares me in the slot. He scares me in the slot. I'm not worried about the other guys. I trust Slay and I trust Bradbury on the outside, but Kirk in the slot is tough, man. It's really that short passing game and that running game that has me up at night. Like I think you got to put Trevor Lawrence in third and long. If you put him in third and long, the Eagles aren't going to have a problem this game.
Yeah, and I think if you put Chauncey, and look, if Slade's going to stay on the outside, what it looks like right now, Chauncey's going to be on Kirk in the slot most likely if he is there. Right. So, because I don't think if they didn't make that move at safety, if they didn't bring anybody up, I didn't think they were going to have Slade move on the inside and then put Zech McPherson on the outside. It's too much of a risk to have Zech, and I don't think he's ready yet. So, as of right now, I think can Chauncey Gardner be up for the task to face a number one receiver as a nickel corner right now? And I think during the game, like if it's not working, hopefully Gannon will change it up a little bit. If they have to move some guys around, if maybe Chauncey Gardner's not doing well, maybe they have to kind of force Slay on him. If that's the case, wherever he steps, he goes. So I think it's going to be a tough game, and I think this isn't a normal Jags team. This isn't a past Jags team where they were pretty much a top 5 pick every year in the draft, and they were trying to find the right pieces. But this is the first year where Trevor Lawrence really has weapons and a really good quarterback friendly head coach that's gonna put him in the right direction. So
yeah, he is. I think if the Eagles go up on them big though, I don't think Jacksonville's built to come back. Like the way that they play, they need it to be close. They need to be in the game. They need to run the ball. They need those quick short passes that ball out 2 seconds. A lot of third and shorts. a lot of ball control. That's what they need. If the Eagles are scoring every drive and it's 17-0 or 24 like it's been the last 3 weeks, then I think they're in big trouble.
So how do you stop an offense that throws quick all year?
Well, I think a team like that throws quick. I think you have to play press. I think you have to bring those corners right up to the line of scrimmage, let them jam them off the snap of the ball, and I think you gotta bring some heat. The idea is that you want to force him to have to hold the ball just a second longer because they're pressing and somebody's not open yet, or throw somewhere where somebody isn't. I think if you do that and you force him to hold the ball on, and then he starts to feel that pressure in that pocket, you could mess him up all day. But I think that's what you have to do. You can't have guys 8 yards back, because if you have guys 8 yards, they're going to turn around 3-4 pass yards and they're going to take it, and they're going to go into second. They're going to put themselves in 3rd and 4, 3rd and 3. So that's how you have to do it. Your defensive line has got to get pressure. I mean, look, they've only allowed 2 sacks all year, and they went up against Bosa last week, Mack. I mean, that's a good defensive line. So, if you're not generating with the front four, I think you're going to have to play a lot more. I think you need to play more man, and I think you need to press and you need to blitz. That's what I would do.
Yeah, and you got to keep your foot on the gas in that second half. Like you got if you're. I mean, I think relatively it could be close. I think with the weather too, it could be close, because I think maybe the Eagles aren't going to pass that much, but we'll see. But you can. I don't know. Like, I'm not a fan of, I get what they're doing offensively with Gannon, defensively with Jonathan Gannon, when they're trying to, with Steichen and Gannon. I get what they're doing when they're trying to just waste time off the clock, time of possession for the offense, waste time, play more prevent defensively, don't give up the big play, but you're tackling inbounds to waste more time on the clock. Yeah. So, you can't do this down the road for too long, because you're not going to survive.
You should never do that in the third. I don't care if it's 41-0 in the third quarter. You don't do it. You want to do that if you're up 41-0 with 7 minutes left in the fourth quarter. I'm good with it. But the third quarter's you got to treat that like it's a tie game, or you're down 3. That's something that they have to definitely work on.
Yeah, true.
No question about it. But I think you got to press and jam those receivers. You want to throw their timing off, and you don't want to give them space. And I just want Lawrence to hold the ball just a little longer. Give my defensive line time to get up. Tell those guys get their hands up, block the ball down. Those kind of things. But I think if you can screw up his timing early, a lot of times when you get a quarterback out of rhythm, it's hard for them to get back into rhythm. You saw that last week with Carson. He never was able to get in rhythm.
Oh, the guys he holds on to the ball way too long, because now the Philadelphia Eagles have really good cornerbacks. See how much of a difference it is when you actually have cornerbacks and you don't have to play prevent, and you can play press coverage. That's what you're going to get. I'm not really afraid of this wide receiver group going into this game as much as from the Vikings with Thielen and, Justin Jefferson, even Osborne. I thought even with the running back even with Dalvin Cook as well. So, I think if you could shut down Kirk, I think it's going to take away everything else, and obviously stop that run game with James Robinson.
Right. Listen. I totally agree. I'm not so concerned about the big play. What I'm concerned about is 1st and 10, gain of 3 yards. 2nd and 7, gain of 3 or 4 yards. Now it's 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4. Those are the kind of positions an offense puts themselves in to get first downs and continue to move the clock. If I'm game planning for the Eagles, I want to keep that offense off the field. I want to eat up clock, keep that offense off the field. So the short passing game, running game is going to be key. If the Eagles shut that run game down and they can just, like I said, get some pressure on Lawrence, it's going to be a long day for Jacksonville.
Yeah, and necessarily doesn't mean because it is. I'm going to mention the bad weather, because usually these games make the whole entire game different. But offensively for the Eagles, matching up against Darius Williams, Tyson Campbell as the cornerbacks, I like the matchups on both of those guys, because I don't see anything scary about their corners. Trevon Walker, Devin Lloyd. You have Allen on the edge. Allen and Walker are definitely going to try to contain Jalen Hurts.
That's where Josh Allen scares me.
Yeah,
that's the guy that I worry about. But. Yeah, Walker has played I think they said over 85% of snaps so far. He has 1 sack. So yeah, I totally agree with you. Yeah. But I think the Eagles have a much better line than the Chargers. So I think they'll be able to maneuver. And then of course the X factor is that you can get pressure, but Jalen Hurts still can make you miss with his feet. That's always going to, and I think that's going to be, especially with tomorrow's weather. I think Hurts' legs are going to be backbreaker.
Yeah, and I think, if you blitz against Hurts and you make a mistake and don't get him, he's going to make you pay for whether he passes to these receivers or he's going to run it himself. I think Hurts is going to have he might have over a 60-yard rush day. He might. It might happen.
Do you know what the latest forecast is? Like, because I was saying they were talking about 13 to 15 mile an hour winds. That can affect your passing game. So it really would depend, but I offensively for the Eagles, I really like the matchup against the Jags defense. I do. I think Dallas Goedert is going to have I think it's going to be a Dallas Goedert day tomorrow. I think he's set up for a big day.
And I think the most important thing is, you can't lose the football. It's going to be very wet outside. You got to hold on to the football. It's going to be important because that's going to change. Punt returns are making me nervous already with this damn rain. Okay, so
that's a problem.
Right. And I was kind of surprised a little bit, but I'm saying to myself, there's got to be someone else you could put at the return. Devontae Smith this week, we heard that he's I hate it. They're gonna have him in situational punt returns, which I can't.
Could you imagine if he gets hurt, how pissed off everybody's gonna be? Like, knock on wood, mother humper. But there's no need to put him out there.
Yeah.
I hate that idea. I fucking hate it. I know he can do it, but he's a very thin guy. He's a man. Well, he's a very skinny man, and I don't want him doing it.
This is what people said to me yesterday. They were like, "Well, if you're okay with Deshaun Jackson returning punts like a long time ago, why is it okay? Why isn't it okay for Devontae Smith to?"
It was only okay for Deshaun to do it until he became the starter. Then I didn't want him to do it either, except in playoff situations or situations like the Giants game. Like that one, okay, but also Deshaun Jackson was an elite punt returner coming into the league. I mean, he was way better than Devontae Smith is as a punt returner.
True.
Deshaun Jackson was elite at it as a rookie, but once he became, a starter, I didn't want to see him do it either.
Yeah, and at this point, I don't get how at this point in time you have Boston Scott on this roster for how long? How do you not have him on punt returns? I don't get. He's fast. That guy is fast. That runs north and south so well. I don't know why they haven't even tried him at punt returns. Like Michael Clay has got to go after this year. I think he's definitely one of the positional coaches that needs to go. I mean, I don't know if you agree, but I think they need a fresh start. Michael Clay's part of that Chip Kelly tree, which I'm just about from the start. But I think I think his time is running out because I think special teams is going to be really bad this year. I don't think it's going to get us anywhere.
Yeah, I'm very worried about it. But I got to think that at some point they're going to make a move. I think that, we talk about getting another pass rusher or what was it, Trey Wise. I think if you could find somebody to come in and be a returner, I think that would be a great move to make because whoever it is coming in trying to adjust to be a returner, I think would be a lot easier than any other position to make an impact, but I think you got to do it. Now, I mean, look, maybe Covey finds his footing and starts to be good. But I just felt like, he's got talent. He's got ability. I just feel like maybe he should have sat on the practice squad all year and then gotten a shot next year. But here's the other thing I want to bring up.
Go ahead.
Dillard possibly could be off the IR next week. We don't know yet. But if he comes off the IR, they've got to cut somebody. Who are they going to cut on this role? It's probably going to be Covey.
It has to be.
So he may only be here for one more week and then have to clear waivers. Then he could be put back on the practice squad. But I don't think he could be called up anymore.
No.
So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. I would love to see Covey break one though. But man, he scares me. He's just small and he dances a lot. And I just think he needs time, and I think they're throwing him to the fire really quick, you know?
Yeah, I mean, they really had no choice. Even if you're going to try him out for, I mean, look, maybe they want to just give him half the season, or maybe I would try to give him maybe half the season, maybe a little bit less than that if they think Devin Allen or Boston Scott, somebody. I mean, Devin Allen would probably be second in line, I guess. It's already enough. I don't like Quez Watkins on kick returns as it is right now. So let me catch up to these real quick. We have skid marks with the super chat. That's a picture of Philly 500 telling you how to run an offense. Okay, that's telling Gannon how to run his defense. That's
the directions to the donut shop. What are we talking about?
Donut shop. Skid marks. What's up? I appreciate the super chat. He says no team can match up with our wide receivers. Our DBs.
I agree with that. You know, the issue is going to be how windy it is. Is it going to be throwing conditions, or are they going to be really, really bad? I don't know. And I think the Eagles will be able to, you know, if the weather is okay enough for them to throw, I think they can throw. I don't think that's a problem at all.
Sandeep Singh, what's going on, man? What's thinking for the super chat? He says 70% will this game be canceled or delayed?
0%
rain. Yeah, no, it won't be canceled.
No, the football weather is rain. The only way it gets canceled if there's lightning and thunder.
True.
Well, it won't get canceled. It'll get delayed. But I think they'll play in it. But it's going to be raining.
We have a new Shake Squad member. What's going on, man? To the Shake Squad Soldier tier, thank you so much, Underdog Champs. You're going to love it here, man. Love the profile.
What's up, buddy?
I appreciate it so much, dude. It's gonna be, you know, Covey needs to protect. I think the one thing that really annoys me, like, I don't care if he doesn't get any punt returns, gets no yards, but he's got to protect himself, and he's got to protect himself. I mean, he's standing straight up when even that one that he muffed near the sideline. Why he just stay in bounds? Just run it out of bounds. Like,
that ball was lucky it bounced straight up the way it did. I saw him running. I go, oh my gosh. There's space to the left and right of you, and he's running straight into 3 Washington Commanders, and he got hit and literally went back like 15 feet, man. Like, I was like, oh my gosh, this guy's, I don't know, man. I'm having Jeremy Bloom feelings, you know.
Do you think a trade for defensive end might come this week, next week? Do you think it's something, if they think the Eagles are going, it's a wait and see process of how he's saying, okay, let's see if this team can actually contend and make the playoffs. They might add another defensive end. And who do you think it could be?
Well, I think they're going to add one. I just don't know how soon. I think they're definitely going to add one. They need somebody else for the rotation. Now, the only thing that might happen is maybe they say Teron Jackson, we're going to give him some time. Let's see what he can do, you know, and then we'll go from there. But they also may want to wait a little bit and see who becomes possibly available in the trade market. So if I'm the Eagles, I wouldn't go sign a defensive end yet. I'd wait. I'd give Jackson a chance, see what he can do, and then I would look to see what teams are looking to trade guys, and then maybe I can get somebody, you know.
Yeah.
But if I had to take a free agent right now that's all out on the market, I would go for Everson Griffin.
True.
And the reason why I say that is because he could play inside also. He could play outside. And if you look from a production standpoint, he at least had 5 sacks last year in 9 games. You look at D Ford, he's coming off a back and neck injury. That kind of scares me. Yeah, and he only had I think he had like 1 sack. Like, so that's who I would lean towards. Now he's older, but if I'm rotating him in and he's playing half the snaps that he normally does, it may be effective. Listen, the way I see it, all you need somebody to replace 2.5 sacks, and you've replaced Derek Barnett. That's all.
Yeah.
But I think they should be patient about it, you know?
Yeah, I mean, Patrick Johnson's kind of been taking that role, which I was kind of just surprised he was in there. And he wasn't, you know, I'm not saying statistically he was playing great, but I mean, he was hitting a little bit, and, you know, at least they put someone there, but I don't think that's the answer for the rest of the season. So they're going to have to do something there.
I think they're going to. The question is are they going to look to trade for somebody, or are they going to look to sign somebody off the market? We also got that kid from Minnesota. I don't think he's had a chance yet.
Janarius Robinson, yeah.
So you know, what about him? I just think when it comes to defensive end, I think they just need to be patient, because I think as some of these teams get closer to trade deadline, people are going to look like by the time the trade deadline, maybe Robert Quinn is a guy that could break free, and you can go out and get him. You know, So I think they should just be a little patient, hang in there, and give some of those young guys a chance right now, and then see where we're at in a few weeks. I think the more pressing issue is the returner. Like, I think that I'm so scared it's going to cost us a game. I'm really scared of that.
It might. And look, it's like, even with the returns now, and people are giving excuses saying, well, Covey had no time to return. I mean, look, let me tell you something. Like, you can't give a lot of punters in this, or punt returners or return specialists in this league don't have 15, 20 yards of space to work with. But he has got to just grow a pair of balls and take that first step forward and just see what he's got. And there were times where he did. There were times where he had 10 to 15 yards of separation, and he just looked hesitant.
Yeah, that's because he's thinking too much. Like, you got to get to the point where you just hit that hole. Like, that's why I'm saying, like, that's why I don't think he's ready yet. He needs that year on a practice squad. We're not talking about like a third-round pick doing this. We're talking about undrafted rookie free agent out of what, Utah?
Yeah.
Who's what, like $150? I mean, how much does the guy? He's small. It's going to take him time. That's why I think, like, they're really throwing this dude to the wolves, man.
Yeah, true. We have a super chat from Scully DeBaldi. He says, I think special teams blocking has been horrific. Clay has to go. That no way he's not on the hot seat. Michael Clay's definitely on the hot seat this year.
He should be. He should be.
Whoa. You guys are too generous. We have a super chat from Sal. $100 super chat. You did not have to do that.
Sal, you were too nice, man. Shout out to Sal.
Did not have to do that, bro. Much appreciated, man. Very humble. Thank you so much, dude.
Yeah, Sal. Thank you. Very generous.
Very generous.
He didn't even say anything.
Yeah, dude, you got to say something, man. You give out that much money, you got to do that.
Yeah, you could have called me names of fat ass, all that stuff. I'd have taken it. I'd have taken it, dude.
Yeah, true that.
Shout out to you, man.
Thank you, Sal, so much, dude. Sam Fleming says,
"Oh my God,
what happened?"
I'm sorry, but I just saw T Puffs. I don't even want to repeat what I thought it said. I thought it said dripping off of something.
Your mind is all over the place. Gotta say. Sam Fleming says, after the first muff punt, I'm letting all of them bounce. No matter what field position is, even if within the 10, there's too much at risk of a muff scoop and score. It's when it's wet.
Yeah, I know what he's saying. I mean, I almost would rather just let the ball roll. But unfortunately, that just puts us in such a bad field position, It just puts us in bad field position. And it seems like to me, and I would like to know this, I don't know what it is, but it just seems like the average starting position for the Eagles has not been that great this year,
Yeah. No, it hasn't. And you know what? It's I don't know if does Michael Clay make the decisions of who's the returners? I mean, he's got to make those decisions. And does he get a final say from the head coach? Or I don't know how the special teams goes when it comes to certain players at return specialists. That's what I don't get. So I'm not really sure.
Yeah, I don't know.
There we go. Sal said something. $50 super chat.
Man, Sal, you too generous, man.
He said, let's go Eagles, bro. I hope we're ready tomorrow, dude. We're going to be ready tomorrow. 4-0 after tomorrow. That's what we're hoping.
Yes.
Be a really good start.
Shout out to you, Sal.
Thank you, Sal. We got a super chat from Gambo. He says, we need to bring back the special teams coach that used to coach games with a pound of dip in his cheek.
I love that friggin' picture. He just looks like he don't give a shit.
I love it.
He don't give a shit. Well, he don't care. I love it. That's a great picture.
Yeah, I don't know who. I mean, where did Dave Phipp go? He went to where did he go?
He went
Jacksonville.
To Jacksonville?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be something that we need to.
No, maybe no. I don't think he's in Jacksonville. I'm sorry. I was thinking of DeFlippo.
Colts, right?
Colts? I'm not sure. I don't know, but we need to do something with the special teams. Really, it's a concern.
Glizzy said, "Feel like we should give Gainwell and Quez a try. I don't like Smitty back there. His light frame could get him hurt."
I don't even like Quez back there, especially on kickoffs. He had like 3 or 4 where he just returned it to the 15. I think Gainwell should be back there. And then when Scott is healthy, to me, that makes the most sense because he did it in New Orleans. He did it early with the Eagles, too, and had some decent returns. I'm not saying he's the greatest returner, but I think he's more sure-handed, and I think he has experience.
Yeah, I just don't like putting like special skill set players into those return. Like those return players are for players that either don't play offense or defense, don't start at least, and at least can contribute to that position. But
that's why I think Scott's your third running back.
He's not getting much. He's not getting many snaps.
He doesn't get a lot of snaps,
right?
And I really wonder if, and this is just my theory, if Scott was healthy, would Covey have been brought up? Because I'm wondering if that was the only reason they did it. Because I would put Scott back there,
Let's see. Oh, it said Dave Phipp went to the Lions, so he's on the Lions, I guess.
Well, okay. Yeah, I can see that. But the other thing is like, I forgot what I was going to say. I lost my train of thought.
He'll come back.
I did that to my wife today too. I was like, I don't know what the hell I'm talking about.
Derek Ray says, excited to see the way they use Trey Sermon tomorrow.
Yeah, hopefully 3rd and 1, you actually give him the ball. 3rd and 1, give him the ball.
Yeah, they have to try. And I mean, look, Sermon, from what he's shown with the 49ers so far, I think he's a natural. He has a natural catch ability. I think he could play. He can go out for passes as a wide receiver, can catch out of the backfield. He's got that. I don't know. He's weird because is he a bruiser? Like, because he's got that Jay Ajayi like mentality. Like he runs like Jay Ajayi. He runs powerful. He's very physical.
No, he's a bigger back. I want to say I think he was 5. Let me figure it out. I thought he was 5'11", like 210. I thought he was something like that, but
yeah, I thought he was less than 200.
He's 6 feet 215. So he's bigger than I thought. So he's like a Jay Ajayi. That's Kareem Hunt size. Yeah. Dude, I mean, to me, a guy like that, he doesn't have to be Jordan Howard, but he's a guy that I would give the ball to on 3rd and 1. I think it's really important that they have a short yardage back. I do. I don't want Jalen Hurts to be that guy.
No, and I don't want him. And look, not saying that like you shouldn't do QB sneaks all the time, because I think, teams could read that, and teams know when you're doing it, and you trust your offensive line. But I didn't like that end around play on 4th down. I didn't like that with Zach Pascal at all. Like, it was Zach Pascal's just not fast enough. Laterally, just not fast enough to get it. I mean, look, I just think they read it. There was three commanders on him like immediately when the play started. So they really just had no chance.
People are saying Jordan Davis for return. I would pay to see Jordan Davis return a punt. I bet you he gets more yards. All he has to do is fall forward, and he's going to get more yards.
Yeah, that's probably about it. Fox Jagger with the super chat. Thank you so much, man. It says Jags 7, Eagles 29, 4-0.
That would be nice. I would not mind sitting there, relaxing, taking the afternoon to just enjoy that. No problem.
So, Philly, what do you say to when other rival fans tell you that the Eagles haven't beat anybody yet?
Yeah, I don't. I think that a lot of those fans that say that are Cowboy fans, and they're always stuck in the past, and they're still looking at the teams that we're playing and teams right now as last year teams. Here's the thing about it, Joey.
Yeah.
You have Dallas beat Cincinnati, and they're like, well, we beat the AFC champions. That Cincinnati team is not that good. I'm sorry. They're not that good. And then, they could say we beat nobody, but what is Minnesota? The week we're playing Minnesota, they just destroyed Green Bay. Everybody was telling us they're way too explosive for the Eagles. They're too good. They're one of the best teams in the conference, and we beat the crap out of them. So Minnesota is 2-1. How are they not good enough to be considered a decent victory? If you go look at all the betting odds, they're the 5th and 6th best team in the NFC. So I don't understand how people can say that.
Well, I'm saying this: weren't the Cowboys, what were they, 1-6, 1-7 against playoff teams last year? Above 500 last year?
I don't remember. I think they're the most over. I think they stink. And then they played a Cincinnati team, no offensive line. And then they beat a Giant team that's just not that good.
Giants.
I'm sorry. That game with the Giants was a shit show. Those teams stink. Those teams can't compete with the Eagles. They can't keep up with the Eagles.
No, I don't think so either. I don't think so. We have 403 in the chat. Thank you so much for coming in the stream tonight. If you guys haven't hit the like button, if you love the Philly Shakedown, hit the like button. Let's try to get to 150, 200 likes if we can.
Yeah.
Guys haven't subscribed to the channel. We cover the Eagles every day. Me and Philly will be streaming both games. The game tomorrow at 1 o'clock. If you guys haven't subscribed to Philly 500, his link is in the description below. And we appreciate Ding Batman will be on stream tomorrow.
AKA the Dark Guido. That's right.
The Dark Guido.
Yep.
We got your chat from Ray Brinson. Thank you so much,
Shout out
man.
to Ray.
Did not say anything, but I appreciate it so much.
That's what Ray does. He's awesome. Thank you.
Jimmy Garrity says Jordan Davis getting more snaps every game. He's only getting better. His run defense is the real deal.
His run defense is a real deal, and I thought he had a pretty good game against Washington. He had 4 hurries, and he literally had Carson wrapped up. I don't know if you saw that when you went back and watched it. He let go. He got away. He's got to wrap him up. He should have had his first sack. That was one that got away. But he's going to get better every week. What's up, Rock the Artist?
Rock, thank you for coming in, man. Now, this Nakobe Dean situation, a lot of people have been talking. I know a lot of people have been talking about it. And give your look on like why Nakobe Dean isn't playing right now, and just that whole entire situation of what's the future for these linebackers.
I don't think there's anything to be worried about with Nakobe Dean not playing. I think it's simply you are looking at a guy in T.J. Edwards, in my opinion, who is playing at a Pro Bowl level right now. I think he has elevated his game that much. Kaiser White is really good. I mean, he's just stuck behind 2 guys who are perennial playing like all pros, in my opinion. So, it is what it is. He just got to sit back and learn and be patient. His time will come. It's nothing that Nakobe Dean isn't doing anything wrong. Nakobe Dean isn't disappointing. The other guys are just on that level right now. That's what I think.
Yeah, you have to keep the hot hand in right now. So from what we're seeing, and look, I'm really glad. Ever since Alex Singleton was released, and we were kind of surprised that happened, and we were like, "Damn, are they really going to change this linebacker core, night and day linebacker core?" Getting Kaiser White, T.J. Edwards playing at a Pro Bowl level right now. It's just absolutely amazing. Apparently the news is that Nakobe Dean is in the meeting room, sometimes talking more than the position coach and Nick Rallis, and being a sponge and getting all the information as possible by next year. And obviously Kaiser White and TJ Edwards, between both of them, one of them is going to get an extension. And I've kind of talked about it already. I think TJ Edwards is, I mean, remember Philly like a few years ago where you were saying he was showing a lot of flashes when he was in games. Yeah. They just wouldn't start. Jim just would not start him.
I liked him a couple years ago. I have to admit, I didn't think he would make the leap that he's made this year. Like, I thought what he showed us last year was like a good, solid linebacker. I thought that was what we were going to get. But from what I've seen this year, he's all over the field. He's from sideline to sideline. He's getting sacked. He's all over the field. To me, T.J. Edwards quickly into a Pro Bowl linebacker. So they're going to have a tough decision to make with him and Kaiser White, because I would have said before the season started, you got to sign Kaiser White. But T.J. Edwards make it a hard case to not sign. Maybe you sign both somehow. I don't know. But I would not worry about Nakobe Dean right now. I think we are in a great situation,
How do you think Fletcher Cox is playing right now?
Really good. I think the first game I didn't think he played good. I didn't really think the defensive line played that good in the first game. No. I think a lot of it was because they hadn't played, but I thought they've gotten better. It really seemed like in that Minnesota game they started to get push up the middle, and even in the Washington game early, those sacks start coming because of the pressure up the middle, and then it seems like everybody is kind of closed the distance on the quarterback. Hassan Reddick got going.
Right.
Sweat has gotten going. So I think they're getting better and better. And Jordan Davis, I noticed that he wasn't sucking wind after like 2 snaps. He was actually so he's getting more condition too. So I think Fletcher Cox has been really good. Maybe I'm a little disappointed Hargrave's play. Maybe he's been a little quiet.
Well, Yeah, he's been getting doubled too. I saw a lot in that Washington game. He was getting doubled out of the play. It really opened up a lot for everybody else. So.
Well, that's what they started doing last year. Remember, they switched from Fletcher Cox getting double teamed to him, and yeah. So right now, I think they're good. And, I'll tell you the guy that is surprising is Brandon Graham, coming back from a torn Achilles to play at the level he's playing at his age is amazing, and it's like a huge bonus for us. Huge.
Yeah, no, I mean, coming off the Achilles at an old age, it's really it's
that was
really
a death
amazing.
sentence. That was a death sentence 10 years ago, man. It's a career ender.
We got a super chat from Marcel Carter. Says, "Watch Training Day. Philly and Denzel are twins."
That's what I'm talking about. Denzel Batman. That's right.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of decisions are going to be made after this year. A lot of players coming off the last year of their contracts, and that's good because the Eagles aren't locked into anybody. The Eagles are actually, I don't know if they fixed it. I think by Wednesday? I think next Wednesday? I think they're 180. I think they're 183 over the cap right now, and that's got to be fixed.
I don't know.
It'll be fixed.
I don't know what they're. Yeah, that'll be fixed. The one thing I don't worry about is that.
Yeah, true. That is true. I forgot I was going to say something else, and I totally forgot. Like before I said that last super chat, I forgot what I was going to say. It'll come back. We got Pre-Hamilton says the Eagles will win if they keep Davis in to help stop the run and make Trevor nervous by getting hits on him.
Yeah, I think stopping that run it's one of the keys. Like I said, if I'm Doug, I'm trying to keep the Eagles' offense off the field.
We got Sydney says, in Dean learning his trades, he studies. Yeah, I mean, he's a sponge, man.
He's smart.
He's a sponge. Because next year, you're going to have Nakobe Dean at linebacker. I don't know if he'll be the middle linebacker. Maybe he'll be the Sam linebacker next year, depending on where they want to put TJ Edwards. And then you'll have, obviously, Cam Jurgens coming in as your starting center if Kelsey does retire. And I kind of asked you last week on, are you kind of nervous because, Cam Jurgens played so well in preseason. He was like the first probably the best impact we had in the preseason games on how well he was just blocking. And, are you nervous that he is, him sitting the whole year? Does that worry you for maybe he's going to lose a step or anything like that? Yeah.
Nah, the way I look at it is, I think a lot of times, we kind of overlook what it means for a player to sit back and learn behind somebody and just watch and the perspective that they can get from that. So, although in the past I thought sometimes the Eagles waited too long for the young guys, I do think waiting for some of these guys like Jurgens, I mean, who's going to give him? I mean, where else can he go where he's going to get a whole year behind a guy like Jason Kelsey to learn? I mean, that's just invaluable, and you only get that 1 year. It's only 1 year in your career. So I think you got to take advantage of it.
Yeah, I think it's the same with the cornerback group with Slay. I think he's made everybody better, too, having him in the room. That's why next year's going to be a big – go ahead. You're good.
Dude, I just got to say, dude, James Bradbury is like nobody talks about James Bradbury.
No.
James Bradbury's shutting everybody down, too. You got to find a way to bring both those guys back. Because what I want to do is I want to draft a corner in the first round along with defensive end. True. And I want a corner in the first round to come and learn behind those two guys. I just think James Bradbury. I mean, we talk about Slay, and Slay is fantastic. But Bradbury, look at his numbers. They're fantastic, dude. He's been fantastic.
Yeah, I don't think he's given up 30 yards to over 30 yards to a receiver.
No, it's ridiculous. Dude.
Yeah. Yeah, totally true. Yeah, I mean, he's not the hoorah type corner. Like, he's very quiet, but he leads by example, and he gets the job done. Like, I didn't think he would, look, I loved the signing, and he had a good training camp, and I was like, I really hope, this guy gave up over 800 yards last year, and we were kind of getting laughed at that we acquired him, and we paid that $10 million for the year, whatever the case may be, and he hasn't been a Pro Bowler since 2020, so we thought, I was kind of nervous about it, but I was excited to see as a number 2, not much going to be on his plate. But as
I thought he would be good. I thought he would be good because the Giants, if you look at the Giants last year, especially defensive line, they got no pressure. And you can only hold up so long as a corner. You know what I'm saying? It's totally different now. I just think him and Slay are really good complementary corners together.
True.
I mean, dude, he is good. He's arguably could be a Pro Bowler too right now. That's how good Bradbury has been.
Yeah, I think you could have three, maybe
Three
even
of them,
four.
because Maddox is probably the best nickel corner in the league, in my opinion. You have literally 3 Pro Bowlers at corner. It's sick right now. It really is.
Yeah. We got a super chat from League. Denaro, what's going on, man? He says Sweat doesn't get enough appreciation. Was he have 3 sacks? Was he have 3.5 sacks?
I think he has 3 sacks. I think
3
3.
sacks.
He had 1 taken away from him, but it is what it is. Sweat's been good. I'm very happy. I think in my opinion, the second half of that Minnesota game, he's been really good.
Yeah.
I think actually him and Reddick, both from that second half of that Minnesota game all through the Washington game, they really look like they got it going,
Oh, yeah, definitely. Marcel Carter with the super chat. Thank you so much, man. He said, if we can only keep one next year, is it TJ or White?
I don't know. At this point, I'm going TJ Edwards. I have to go TJ, but I like both of them. I'd like to keep them both.
Yeah, it's TJ's just standing out more when it comes to even on some of I think it was covering the screen pass and his hard tackling and his blitzing. I think from the Washington game, it was from the Vikings. I think 3 of his pressures he had. I think 3 pressures. 2 of his pressures came off of picks, which was pretty good.
And he's been good in coverage.
Yes,
he's made tackles at the. He's been sideline to sideline. He's been really good. I like Kaiser White. I think he's been good too. But Edwards is just popping right now to me.
Right. Big says, how are we going to evaluate everyone this weekend?
Yeah,
we're going to see. So I want to talk to you quick and kind of just what happened to Tua the other night and your perspective on how they handled the situation from Sunday to Thursday. Just your whole thing on that, if you have.
Well, it's weird. I was streaming that game, so when he went down, his fingers were all like contorted like this, and I thought that he hit his hand on the Bengals helmet and it was dislocated and it was all whacked out because he hurt his hand. I had no idea that he was having like a concussion or a seizure or whatever it was. And then all I could think about was earlier in that day when I heard he was going to play, I said, didn't he just have a concussion last week? Why would they play him on a Thursday night game? So I said that before the game even started, and then boom, he gets another concussion. I think there's definitely. I think the Dolphins are going to lose some more draft picks is what I think.
It's crazy. If that's going to be the punishment, finding them is not going to do anything, and they have to do more than that. I ranted the other day because I watched that game, and I was.
Well, did you see him the week before he get up, and then I'm sorry, and then he goes back down, and they're trying to say that was his back. That didn't look like back. That looked like head.
Now the new rule from the NFLPA, if I could, they're trying to get a new rule. I think they're going to try to pass this right now. It says NFLPA, NFL soon are expected to agree to new protocols in which any time any player demonstrates any instability, he is not allowed to return to the game. The rule could go into effect as early as week 5.
Yeah, I think that's fair. If you're that wobbly. What's the likelihood, right? Is it just coincidence that he was wobbling because of a back injury and then he gets a concussion? Or is it more likely that he had a concussion in that week game, then he came back and played too early and his brain and his head wasn't all together? And, of course, if he's already concussed, it's going to be easier to do more damage, and that's probably what happened. That's the most likely scenario, really.
Yeah, but he got up wobbly, and then he walked, and then he fell back to the ground. So that's worse than it's really bad. So I had a huge rant on that the other day, and I was really pissed off. I was like, if that happened to us, I'm telling you right now, like I don't care what our record is. I don't care about nothing. Like you're firing somebody that medical. I don't care what it is.
The doctors have to clear him. The coaches have no say.
Right.
I know a lot of people blame the coach. I don't think he has a say. I think the doctors have to say he's clear from a concussion, and how they could have done it. I don't understand. I don't understand how they didn't think that was a concussion. And I felt bad because I thought he broke his finger and it was dislocated and he was just like, ow. But no, he was like from a head injury. It's horrible.
You think
horrible.
so you're saying that? Well, you're saying that Tua had no say to the doc, like he didn't beg them to like kind of sweep it under the rug, maybe.
Well, the rules are that when somebody's in concussion protocol or concussion, that the doctors have to make the decision. So if the guy says he's got a concussion, the coaches can't say, "Well, go in anyways and play," or talk to the doctor. It has to be cleared by the doctor. That means the Dolphins doctors cleared him, and they shouldn't have.
Yeah, well, apparently Gambo says the NFL fired the doctor the other day or this morning, whenever it was.
And if I was going to him, I would stop right
away. Yeah, no, like that's crazy though.
If I'm Tua, I'm gonna sue the NFL. He most likely he's gonna sue.
Can you sue the NFL even if you're on contract?
I think he can. Yeah, because they put him in a bad situation,
Yeah, true.
It was scary.
Yeah, where you hiding says if he's still in concussion protocol, he can't get back in the game. That's already been a rule. I think concussion protocol should be a mandatory 1-game absence.
Yeah, especially come off a Thursday night game. Like you would think, and that's what surprised me because I was thinking you probably keep Tua out on Thursday. And I remember because I was going to do a bet and I'm going, why is Miami 1-point underdogs? Oh, because Tua's probably not playing. And concussion, you let him sit Thursday, you get a little extra rest. That makes sense. And then he wound up playing. So, it's bad.
Yeah, it's not good. It's not a good look.
Oh, said that. Tua's doctor is stupid, Batman. That's right, Buzzology. That was stupid, Batman.
Well, we got sexy Batman now in the making.
We got sexy Batman.
Gonna be a lot of Batmans by the end of the year.
We're gonna run out of Batmans. Nobody wants to be Robin. That's the funny thing.
No, because they're all that. No one's taking a back seat. That's the whole thing.
Nobody wants Robin.
No. Well, so overall, with this game coming up tomorrow, like what are the main things they have to do offense and defensively to win this game per weather and all of that?
It's simple. It's simple. It's you want to win a game. One, I think you have to stop the run. I think you have to get pressure on Trevor Lawrence. He's going to look for those quick passes, as we said. If you can force him to hold the ball a little bit longer, make him uncomfortable. I think that's how you do it on defense. I think offensively, I think you gotta run the ball more. I think Hurts is going to have a big day on his feet tomorrow. And then of course, in bad weather, you got to control the turnovers. But I think if the Eagles do those things, I think they'll win. I don't know what the exact weather forecast, wind wise and stuff like that. But if it's really, really windy, that actually hurts the Eagles more than it hurts them because of our passing game.
True.
So but I think tomorrow, I think you're going to see Dallas Goedert have a big day. I think it's a big day for the tight end. Nice 7, 8, 10-yard passes over the middle, those kind of things. And I think Hurts beats him with his leg. But you got to stop the run. I mean, like I said before, Jacksonville has only given up 2 sacks all year. I think that's important.
I feel like we're gonna break that, man. I feel like if we could take that first read away, I'm telling you, if we can get there with that pressure and Gann keeps his foot on the gas in that second half, I think it's gonna be a close game for 3 quarters, and then the Eagles pull away. And part of it is the weather, part of it is Doug's scrappy, and that team's gonna be scrappy. But if the Eagles are up 24-0, like if the Eagles go up. I don't think that they can come back. I don't think they're built to come back. I think Jacksonville has to keep it close. Yeah, I think so.
But at the end of the day, we're going to win. We're going to be 4-0, and then it's just then this game I'm a little worried about comes.
True.
We'll talk about that.
We had Derek Ray that says would be interesting to see if Calcaterra could move up to the tight end 2 by the end of the year. That catch last week looked.
Oh, he did it already. Did that catch? Pretty much, I moved him up as soon as I saw that play. But that's my number 2 tight end right there.
Because Jack Stahl isn't a receiving tight end. He does the dirty work. He's a blocking tight end. That's the only reason why they use him. That's it.
Yeah. No, I already thought Calcaterra on that one play. I was like, oh, yeah, that's my number 2.
I saw a guy catch the damn ball. I was like, who? Is that Calcaterra? It's like, holy crap, the guy's got speed. It's going to be nice going into next year, though, with Tyree Jackson, which this year would have been his second year playing the tight end position. And then obviously next year you're going to have some good competition for that number 2. And look, Calcaterra was hurt from July 30th, missed all of training camp, and pretty much got to that third final preseason game, and we pretty much thought he wasn't going to make the team. He just missed too much valuable time with that hamstring. But I guess maybe they saw something in him, because something was there.
He's got talent, man. No question about it.
Yeah, I think kind of like Trey Burton used to catch some amazing catches, and I think this guy's a lot faster. Don't get me wrong. I think this guy has some speed to him. But just think like what JJ looked like at tight end compared to what we saw from Calcaterra on one pass.
I know, right? JJ, I don't even know why they would put him at tight end.
Lose situation.
He's about as fast as a left guard. Like he needs to put more weight on. He's a left guard. That's how fast he runs. Yeah, there's no way Whiteside could have made that play.
Yeah,
it's impossible. He's never made a play like that.
Jimmy Garrett says this team is on another level. Love the way the player and coaches are connecting. It's special. Haven't seen an Eagles team like this in a long time.
I think it is special. I think the fans feel it. I think we all feel that there's something about this team. That they're pretty good. It's something.
Did you watch the unscripted of the Eagles from yesterday that they made? They uploaded it yesterday. You have got to watch that tonight because Shane Steichen, I didn't realize how big of a voice he has with this offense, but man, Shane had him in the meeting room, and we're gonna win the NFC East. At first, we take care of this division, and man, he has a huge voice in this offensive room. I didn't think he did, to be honest.
I never had problem with Steichen last year. My problems were always with Gannon. So I'll have to check it out.
I think, part of it, and there was some blame to go around with Steichen last year, but not just that, but Hurts missing wide open receivers. And, we didn't feel like Devontae Smith was treated like a number one receiver last year. And even that playoff game, that wild card game was it's on everybody. It's on the coaches before any of these players. Yeah. So,
well, I mean, Hurts looks a lot better, dude. You look at his throwing motion, it looks a lot better. I mean, he looks good. He's accurate. I think things are slowing down for him. And then Devontae Smith is who we thought he was. I mean, last week don't show you how talented that guy is. It's, that guy is something.
We got Dave K. He says, Joey, 500. I got the brisket in the oven. I got the ribs just got done boiled. I am also making crab cakes and shrimp cocktail. You both are always welcome to come over.
I'm on my way. I wake up today and I got all these notifications. Mark Holmes, he's adding me in his videos. He's up making ribs at 2 a.m. Why would I want to watch that? I don't care. And I'm like, and why is he making it right now? The game's on Sunday. Does he think there's football today? I don't even think he knows what day it is.
You gotta cook brisket the day before, though. You gotta cook it the day before. That's why.
Why? Why do you cook it the day before?
Well, if you're smoking it, you have to smoke it for 15 hours, whatever it is. So you got to smoke it for a long time. But
yeah, he was smoking it. It was smoking for 8-10 hours, and it was 3 a.m. It looked done. And you go, what do I do for football? And go, but you don't play till Sunday. Well, it's today's Saturday. That guy's crazy. Oh, let me say this, dude. You know what sucks? All the Giants, Cowboys, and Washington, they all play tomorrow at the same time. So I can't stream that Cowboys game. I love streaming the Cowboys game because the Cowboy fans get so pissed off at me. But it's fun. Yeah,
how do you think that Commanders-Cowboys game go? Is it in Washington?
No, I think it's in Dallas. Oh, I think Washington wins. I got Washington winning. I think Carson rebounds this week. I think they do just enough to win. And the one thing that I think that the Giants couldn't do, and I don't think that the Bengals with that offensive line, the way they were playing in week 2, I think Carson's going to be able to move the ball downfield with his receivers. Washington's lost 2 in a row. I can't see them losing 3 in a row, going to 1-3. I think Dallas loses tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're going to be, they're definitely pissed off from that loss they had against us. So I think they come back, and Wentz has got to play better, obviously, and obviously watching out for the pass rush with DeMarcus Lawrence and obviously Micah Parsons. So it's going to be definitely an interesting game.
I see you, Cole's Cowboy. I love it. I get all Cowboys.
What do you say?
He doesn't believe me. He knows I'm busting balls. I love torturing Cowboy fans. It's so much fun. Yeah, Carson will get. Parsons will have 2 sacks tomorrow, but Washington still will win.
Yeah,
that's my prediction.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think go either way. I mean, look, it can go either way. We always think that these divisional games are close, and they could be. I mean, we saw the Giants. I mean, the Cowboys kind of strayed away from the Giants. Like pretty much the fourth quarter, they started end of the third to the fourth, they started straying away a little bit. So, to me, it's going to be a long season, and with the Philadelphia Eagles and with Jalen Hurts leading this team right now, I mean, the mentality with this team right now and the camaraderie and the brotherhood, and Hurts is just doing something to this team that I haven't seen in years. And it's intoxicating. I can't see them backing down or taking a team lightly, or the more games they win, the more that we're hoping that they're not going to feel themselves up a little bit and get too cocky and, take every game lightly. So do you ever worry about that they'll get too cocky? Or
I do think that when teams hear how great they are every week, I do think it can make you like have letdowns. I do think that happens because we're all human. Nobody ever goes. I mean, how many teams win every game every year? It just doesn't happen.
Yeah.
So you're always going to lose games that you shouldn't lose. And to me, if you look at their schedule, I think they're pretty much better than everybody on the schedule talent-wise. So they just got to be consistent. But there's going to be a game we lose. There's going to be a couple games we lose, and we're going to we're better than that team. It happens every year.
Yeah. We're going to take those losses, and depending how we lose, but there's going to be Eagles fans out there that are going to make a big deal out of it, and or the people are going to think that we're slowing down, and because the Eagles, I think we kind of thought of the same thing going to this year with Jalen Hurts. We kind of thought, hey, this year, how they're playing right now from the start of the season we didn't think that was going to happen immediately. Start of the season, middle of the season, something like that. We would have built to how we're playing right now. When teams are too hot in the beginning of an NFL season, it kind of starts to wear down a little bit, and we're gonna start to see if that's gonna happen.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna have our ups, we're gonna have our downs, but I mean, if you start 4-0, you have a really good chance at 6-0, 5-1. I mean, you have a really good chance. You get to that level, then we're talking number 1 seed in the NFC. You get the number 1 seed in the NFC, Eagles going Super Bowl. That's how I see it.
Yeah. We got a super chat from Gambo. He says the analysts put too much stock in the vets preseason. The league is shifting to the youngins, and it's why we are balling. We have youth and health. Yeah,
we do. We definitely do. I totally agree.
Yeah, it's from the probably the year after the Super Bowl. I think we were the second oldest team. I think in the league. I think the Denver Broncos were the first.
Mm-hmm. They're always the first. They're always old.
But yeah, other than that, guys, that's pretty much it. It's been great. I mean, it's hopefully the Eagles get the 4-0 tomorrow. I want to see how the Eagles are going to react, how the coverage is going to be if they're putting CJG in the in the slot, and to see what he could do at nickel. And the first release, the quick release of Trevor Lawrence is going to be what they're going to have to stop to do anything. I think the Eagles are going to take that away. I'm not going to say it's going to work every time, but I think they're going to get a few sacks on him. I think there will be turnovers in the game, especially not just from our side. I think from both sides because of the weather and depending on how that's going to go. So,
I think Trevor Lawrence is going to be very frustrated with this secondary tomorrow. I really do. I think they're going to have a big game.
Yeah. I totally agree. We got 450 in the chat right now. Appreciate everybody being here to the Philly Shakedown podcast. Make sure you hit that like button. Let's get this likes up on the stream. If you guys haven't subscribed to the channel. We cover the Eagles every single day. Subscribe to Philly 500. His link is in the description below. We will have a post game tomorrow, late post game tomorrow. I don't know if are you doing a post game by yourself after?
I might do something right after the game. I might not. It just depends. But we're definitely doing one tomorrow night.
Okay.
So
it will be.
I'm only streaming the Eagles tomorrow. So
okay, it will be on Philly 500. The Shakedown will be on Philly 500's channel tomorrow night. So definitely be there because we're gonna have a lot to talk about. Hopefully, it's a good day. Maybe you'll have a couple Batman showing up to the stream tomorrow.
Batman showing up. Batman, the Dark Guido will be there. Believe me.
Definitely. So that's about it. So other than that, guys, that's pretty much it. And we'll see you tomorrow night. And fly, Eagles, fly, go Birds. And we're ready to go. 4-0, here we come.
Peace.
All right, see you later, guys. SHAKESQUAD up, follow slide. Peace. Peace out.